to talk to you about the common cold. The common cold, myths and facts. Now, if you were to ask my mom where you get the common cold from, she'd tell you it's from being outside without your coat on. That's a myth. Fact of the matter is, the common cold is caused by this little guy right here. We call him the common cold virus germ. What he does is he might be on somebody's hand, say Timmy, he sneezed, achoo, in his hand. Now he's got hundreds of little germs on his hand. He shakes your hand, you rub your nose, they go up your nostril, and they come in contact with your nasal cell. They then attach themselves, they do a few things over here, voila, you have a virus. Now, you're asking yourself, and that means I'm going to get it? Well, what happens is about 90% of the people that come in contact with the virus germ, they get the common cold. Now, there is some good news. Only 70% of those people are going to feel like crud. I shouldn't say crud. Aren't going to feel very well. They're going to have fever, headache, cough.
Crud is a bad word.
Body aches. Now, you've got 20% that the virus is going to go ahead and attach itself to the nasal cell, but they're not going to have the feelings of a cold. They're going to go ahead and just feel normal, but they will still be contagious. Now, here's the problem with the common cold. This germ mutates several times over. There's over 200 common cold germs out there. That's why you can get rid of one cold and get another cold. Today, if you notice, most of the colds are in the schools because our children, I lost my train of thought, cut that part out. Stop taping for 2 seconds while I try and figure this one out. Stop taping.
Okay.
What happens is our body will build up an immune system to the first germ, but then it mutates and makes into another germ. That's how we wind up with so many colds. On an average, a child will get 3 to 12 colds a year. Now an adult will only get 2 to 4. That's pretty good. Well, if you're only getting 2. If you get to 4, also, the common cold is one of the leading reasons why people go to the doctor. It causes more days absence from work and more days absence from school. Symptoms? Well, there's plenty of them. What can you do for them? Well, you got your typical over-the-counter cold medicines, Tylenol for headache. Now, of course, they always recommend you have some warm soup and lots of juice. Now, the soup and the juice really aren't going to do anything for you other than give you a little bit of comfort. Kleenex, you've got to have it. The cold stuff, to keep the fevers down, try to keep some of the nasal congestion down. Now, I went to a couple of different places, and I recommend that you go to colds.com and medicinenet.com to get more information on the common cold. One of the ways you can go about keeping colds at a minimum, of course, is washing your hands. And try to refrain from going around people that are ill. Now, oh, I did forget one little thing. Cold and flu season is not because of winter. It's because we're all stuck in the same place most of the time. Fewer people are going outside, they're inside more, therefore they're in close quarters and in contact with these germs. So it has nothing to do with the weather or the change of seasons. Now, you ask yourself, how many of these little germs do I need to get sick? Well, only 1 to 30 of these germs. 1 to 30 of these germs introduced into your nose is enough to produce an infection. How much time does it take for this to happen? Well, usually about 8 to 12 hours from the time the germ goes into your nose and attaches to your nasal cavity. When am I going to start to feel really bad? Well, about 10 to 12 hours into it. How long is it going to last? About 36 to 72 hours. After that, you should start feeling a little bit better, at least we hope. Well, I guess that's about all I can tell you about the common cold, and hope it's been a little bit of information that you didn't know about.